Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you gotta get cut. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fun.
Good morning, everybody. I'm a little late. Hey, we got ADP coming through here. I honestly, I feel a little out of it this morning. I have the best night. So, coming just through here, I'm just noticing that the ADP, it looks like it was pretty good, but the treasuries are backing up. So that is curious. So let us come and look at the charts. So we're getting... The E-mini had an okay recovery yesterday, but was not able to break through the 100-day moving average, and now overnight, pretty ugly down movement. And that did move the treasuries up, but, well, actually, they moved down a bit. They moved up a little after things got really risk-off, but we're actually still down in the treasuries, so that's interesting there. Okay. Coming over to oil. Oil coming off based on some surprise private inventory builds, my understanding. Natural gas, new highs, finally. Ooh, that action in natural gas is just crazy. Gold was taking a little bit of a hit, but it's since recovered. And HG Kappa doing okay. It's a little down. So we're still getting. So it must have something to do with this risk-off action that we've been getting. Hey, good morning, Greg. Oh man, I've got a cough now. I think something went down the wrong pipe. So that's curious that since the open, they've been higher. But I think that higher makes sense off of the risk sentiment. Okay, so I need to get to... I don't have financial juice up here. So let's fix that. U.S. ADP employment change data shows the labor market continues to make progress. Leisure/hospitality, a big driver. There's something in there. It seems like there's something in there. Kind of... That is weird. Good morning, AL. I'm not quite sure what to make of that. I don't think that 568 versus 428 is such a change that I'm like, oh, this absolutely has to just plummet. I want to fade this, etc., etc. So I think that I should just kind of sit on the sideline for a bit, yeah? Let's see here. Oh, you were talking about the rate increase, surprise increase. Yeah. Well, so if we come over here to News Squawk, I love their morning blog thing. It gives you a pretty good rundown of what's going on. Equities are pressured with sentiment firmly risk off after the positive U.S. handover fizzled out in APAC hours. APAC bourses traded mostly lower after failing to sustain the initial momentum from Wall Street, where all major indices gained as investors bought back into tech and with sentiment helped by better than expected ISM services PMI. This initially lifted the overnight benchmark indices, although gains in the ASX were later reversed as the strength in energy and tech was overshadowed by weakness in the broader market, including underperformance in top-weighted financial sector, after the regulator announced a loan curve targeting mortgage lending. Right? So there was a bunch of stuff going on in Japan. There was a bunch of stuff going on in Europe. So I can't point to like any one thing, but it's curious. What's curious to me is that the ES had such a strong dump, and the treasuries did not respond at all in risk-off sentiment. And so perhaps what we're seeing now is the ADP was good, but they still need to price in the bearish overnight action, you think? I don't know. That's my best theory. But I think for the moment, I'm since I don't understand what's going on, I need to kind of stay out. Plus, I'm not in top shape. So I went to bed a little bit later than I should have yesterday. It wasn't super late. It was maybe like 30 minutes, an hour late, but I feel tired when I woke up. So working on my LED sign. I don't know. It was getting there, but I'm wondering if there's a problem. It's got to be a problem with the strips, because there are two strips that are just a little wonky no matter what I do. And it can't be the wiring, because if I switch which port and everything it's connected into, it is fine. Or sorry, it's if I switch which port that is having the problem, doesn't go away. Like if I take two of them and I swap them, problem doesn't go away. So that suggests to me that it's a strip. So I'm thinking about just cutting my losses and going for like a full 32 array sign. You know what I mean? Good morning, Dan. Anyways, I've got a bagel here. I'm going to eat this bagel while we watch this. Keep an eye on this. Oh, you know what? We should put the dollar up here too. Where's the dollar? Oh, that was something else funky I was doing. Where is it? There it is. Okay. Got the dollar. I will keep an eye on that. See what they do here. Russia's President Putin says that Russia is ready to help stabilize energy markets. This is being reported by Bloomberg. That seems like a good reason to short natural gas, don't it? Don't it? Am I wrong? Let me see here. NG. Natural gas. Ooh, they're already getting hit. Mm-hmm. He must have said it a while ago or something. Or maybe he told his buddies that he was going to say that. But they're down. Good morning, Captain Price. How are you? You passed it. All right, good job. The bigger one. Oh no, it wasn't big. $2,500 is the standard. The standard. Yeah, I really. So if I was trading a combine account and I pass the combine, because you got to understand, the combine is kind of aggressive, right? So if I pass the combine, I would probably reduce the risk on everything that I was trading when I started trading it live, you know? I'd be like going in the combine using the maximum number of contracts that they let me do, and then I go and I do the actual combine and I use the minimum number of contracts and be way more risk adverse. Because just because of the way that their combine is set up kind of selects for risky strategies that are likely to blow up, you know? I'm in the Apex. What is the Apex challenge exactly? The owner is betting that the trader will get nailed on big size. Yeah. I don't know. I would like to do J on a combine again because I'm pretty sure that the new version of J could pass it, but not in this environment, right? It would need to turn back into risk on again for that to work. One ticking in the ZN is fun, but it's hard. It's hard. Oh, look at that. I got caught. I got caught. That one. I think, well, I can try and write it out. I think it's volatile enough that I can try and write it out, but yeah, the issue with the one tick trade in the ZN is that I don't think that there's really that many real opportunities. You have to make 164.27 what a day for why? I don't know. My goal in the micros has been $200 a month. I don't know. Then that's pretty aggressive target, really. You think about it, right? Oh, you only need another 167 to pass the combine. I got you. Very good. Very proud of you. You know, I'm really proud of this stream in general. There's a lot of you that have told me about passing combines or doing something. It seems to me like pretty much all of you regulars would be able to pass the combine under the right circumstances, you know? You say that you were just lucky. Well, but that's the way that it works, right? Were you really? We're trading with a 17 lot ES and bought the. Oh man. Yeah, Price Captain says he could do it in the right. Oh, for sure. And this environment recently would maybe be your kind of thing. Yeah, Captain Price. Like September, October now. Yeah, exactly. See, when I did that combine video with Jay, Jay would have passed if the risk off thing had not come in that 1 week. Like otherwise, if I had started the combine a month, or 100% would have passed. It was 100% random luck. I get it. You know, this is something that bothered me. Oh man, can I vent an emotional thing for me? I don't. You know what? I when I'm managing the Discord, I have like no problem banning people just for mouthing off or whatever, right? So there's this guy that's been in there for a while now, and ever since he came in, he kind of drives me nuts because he always says things that are just like don't seem to be very much in line. Like I feel like that he very much tries to distort everything towards what he wants to have happen, and he's kind of playing the bearish counter trend trade. So he's saying all this stuff like there's no way that the Federal Reserve is going to taper this year and all of these things, and I'm like, dude, like every single piece of information says that this is going to happen, and you refuse to believe it. Like, what the heck, right? And then this big increase in rates came along, right? And he was fading against it the whole time. He claims that he wasn't losing money on it, but I know you caught a little bit and then you came out break even. You gave up a lot of opportunity either way, right? But that's okay. Like, people can make wrong calls. I make wrong calls every day, right? But the thing that bothered me so much was that he just was not seem humble at all. And when both myself and Lizard were kind of trying to gently guide him towards more correct information about how the monetary system works and everything else like that, and he just thinks that like we're attacking him and being mean or something. And so then he starts mouthing off to me. I'm like, I mean, like, I enjoy a good political debate, but if you're just gonna try and turn it into like pit yourself against an admin. Like that's not very smart, right? And that was the thing that really boggled my mind, was like you realize that you're saying that to a person that has no reservations with just banning you just because he doesn't like you, right? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But he was not very humble. Greg, on the other hand, who has been around for a while now, he's not here in the stream lurking every day, but he's been around for a while, and Greg has admitted some that where he's had some bad times and struggles and things like that. Like, he understands very much his limitations, and where a lot of the time when he gets something that, you know, there was a lot of luck involved in it. I think it's the same thing with me. I do not feel like I played the rise in rates as well as I could have. I could have probably made $200 more on that. And there was the big blow up before that. So like I know that, like, as much as I know, and even though I can make some really, really great predictions, sometimes there's a lot of stuff going on that I don't know, and sometimes I screw up really bad, you know? You gotta be, to make it in trading, you gotta be humble, and Greg is somebody that's from day one, I think, kind of showed some of those characteristics. So Apex is another funding thing, huh? I don't know. If I was gonna do a thing like that, here's what I would do. Here's my idea. We're a regular brokerage. We're a regular brokerage, and if you're trading well, then we give you money that day. And if you're not trading well, we don't give you that money. And of course, there would have to be rules around when we fund people and when we don't. But it's like, you're trading your own money, but then in certain situations, we'll give you more money to trade with, because we know that, like, your market is hot and you've been doing well and whatever the deal is. And then it's not like this, you got lucky on a 1 month period, yada, yada, yada. No, like, we would be able to go back and look and see, this guy has been consistent for a really long time. And so if we got a guy that, like, he makes money almost every day, and when he does lose money, it's a really small loser, hey, that's, and he's been doing that for a year. That might not pass a combine in a reasonable time, but I would be willing to fund them. You know what I mean? I suppose that's what Futures Trader 71 was doing with his original brokerage to some extent, but I don't know. I think that a system like that would make a lot more sense. Like, it's a retail brokerage, but we're treating it like a prop firm, right? Everybody that trades for the brokerage gets in a chat and can talk, and there's people in the brokerage that are giving, daily strategy setup, and I think that to do that, you couldn't just be a straight up brokerage. Like, maybe everybody that takes it has to have the Series 7 license or whatever it is. I don't know. I know what we 53. I think you have to do 53, right? But yeah, Captain Price says maybe. I don't know. Or maybe here's another idea. What if we just had an instrument that was really, really cheap, so that even if you sucked at trading and you lost every day, it would take years for you to go through even a small $1,000 or $2,000 account. What if we had that? That would don't you think that would help? What do you think about that one, guys? That's a waste of time. Feeling good now that I've got some food in my system. Let's see here. Greg says I got a 30% discount. 150K combine. 225 plus 10 CME, 10 CBOT depth, 1 reset. Total gamble 325 plus Texas sales tax. So 325 to get a $5,000 drawdown. Next gamble, does he even fund anyone? Right. Well, going back to it, I really, based on my understanding of market, there's really 3 ways to do it. There's really 3 categories of traders. There's market makers. Now, market making is dominated by robots and is very hard for a retail trader to do. You have to find a really inefficient market to do it. Like the Gary Norden style trading, you can do it. He teaches you that information. I think it's really important information to preserve. And I haven't taken his new course, took the yellow jacket, but I thought it was super great and I really like the guy. But if you're going to trade that style, you're probably not going to do it in 10 years, right? And he was saying, I don't like that instrument to do it. You want to trade where you're mostly trading against other retail traders, right? Okay. Why is that? Because the robots dominate the market making game. I mean, look at what they do in the micros, right? This moves up and down most of the time without any volume actually trading. So how are they determining what the price should be? Well, they're looking at other things and they're doing a calculation to calculate what the correct interest rate is, right? Okay. Method number 1. Method number 2 is be the informed trader. You know that something is going to happen. You know that price is likely to go to a certain area and you make a trade based on your knowledge about the market. I say that being the informed trader is always the way to be, but there's a problem with it. You're not always informed. And sometimes you think you're informed and you're not. You're actually misinformed. And this happens to us all the time, right? And then your last choice. Your last choice is a noise trader. And most retail traders end up being noise traders. And from what we can see, the noise trader is at a natural disadvantage. Basically, when you look at what the informed trader and the market maker does, the noise trader is going to lose money on average just because of the way that this system is set up. Okay. So the question is, though, if you can't always be the informed trader, you're going to have to be some combination of the noise trader and the informed trader and know everything that you can about the market making, and maybe that can help you a little bit, but that's not really where your edge is coming from. Your edge is coming from the noise trading and the informed trading. So then the question is, what is the most effective way of going about noise trading? I don't know. Have a really small target seems to be part of it, right? Not asking for very much seems to be a really big key. You could have stops that are larger than your targets, but there's some real issues with that. I don't know. We need to investigate that more. Where can effective noise trading come from? I don't know. But I think that to really be in this game, that you have to acknowledge that to some extent you are just a noise trader and that you're just managing the risk of it. 100 times risk capital, they let you already gamble 50-50 chance. All in, you gamble, will pay money. Then you have to make the 5,000 drawdown plus more money to even get paid. Yeah. But that's why most of these guys, they do well for a while and then it kind of changes. Now the splits, the other side of that is that I think that the reason why most of the people, they'll go into a combine, they'll do well for a while and then they'll crash and burn is because, again, we're mostly noise traders. So what happens is you start doing well and you think, I've made it. I am now considered a profitable trader because I have been funded or whatever the deal is, and because I've been pulling money out of it for 6 months. And what you don't realize is that there's not necessarily edge in what you're doing. It's noise. You're a noise trader, which is okay. But if you're a noise trader, you have to realize that at some point the rug is going to get pulled out from underneath of you. And so when you think you're a profitable trader, right, then if you're having a drawdown, then the correct thing to do is to just keep trading your strategy, right? And trade through it and it will work out, right? But if you're a noise trader and you get a drawdown, that's maybe not what you want to do at all. At some point you have to sit down and say, oh, okay, it doesn't work anymore, right? There's no way this guy's going to let me trade that wild in a real account, and Greg Orlowski sucks at day trading the ES. But I think that is kind of how it works, though, Greg. Think about it. If they're all noise traders, and it's all technicals, and the market has a tendency to arbitrage away technical strategies, essentially, then at any given time, there's only a small number of technical strategies that are actually going to work. And it's going to be very difficult for you to figure out which ones those are, right? So crowdsource it. Have a bunch of people constantly trying, and the one that's doing well at the time, you give them a little bit of money and you give them a really short leash. So during the time at which they can make money, then yeah, you can make money. And then when they crash and burn, you don't lose very much on the other side, and you can continue to be making money from the people that are now catching the new wave or whatever the deal is, right? I think that's what they're trying to do. I think that there's kind of this at least that's what I think now. Like I used to think they just want you to take the combine and crash. No, I don't think that that's the case anymore. I think that they know that most people aren't going to pass, and so they want to make money from doing that. But ultimately, they really do want to fund people, but they know that when they fund people, that they're only going to make money off of them for a short time. And that's why they have such really, really careful drawdowns and things like that. Right? So that they can make the money when you get hot, and then when you're not hot anymore, they ditch you. That's what I really think it is. Okay, well, the Treasury's slowed down at 25. Should note that is still pretty low compared to yesterday, right? Like that is around where we were at yesterday. So that might explain why we had this move up. Pure technicals. Because I really can't explain why the rates were so much higher overnight, right? Seems a little odd. Anyways. AO closed his Zen position. Most lose and reset or resubscribe. If the company gains a few good traders, they may win if that trader remains. Yeah. And like from their perspective, like think about it. If you trade for, you trade for 3 months and then you crash and burn, and then they made money off of you for 3 months, right? And then with the way that the drawdown is, presumably they should make money, right? Although it is an 80, they only get 20% of your gains. So I don't know. seems like they probably can't make that much from their funded traders. I got this Arduino thing stuck on my mind now. I could show you, but it's like over there. I spent all night working on this thing, and I think I got it to work. Like it works, but I think that the LEDs are screwed. I think that the LED lights are just bad, because if I switch the wires, it doesn't fix the problem. It's still those two LED strips don't work correctly. And so it must just be that I got poor quality strips. So I don't know what to do about it. Go big or go home. 32 pixel, but I don't think that I can I don't know if you can daisy chain a bunch of 32 pixel matrices together or anything like that, right? Captain Price says natural gas, is it making another move? Yeah, they're probably pushing lower, yeah. Well, did you see, Captain Price, that the Russian president said that they are ready to meet Europe's gas crisis? I forget what the exact phrasing was, but that's why they're coming down, is because Russia is basically pledging to pump as much natural gas out as they can to fix the problem, I guess. Yeah. So I'm wondering, they were moving down well before that, right? But we got this news around 6:30 or something like that. Now they're moving lower. And Nord Stream here. Let me go back and find the exact headline. Putin says Russia is ready to help stabilize energy markets, reports Bloomberg. Germany is holding things up. Anyways, so I want to make a better LED scroller. And it just seems like the hardware to make what I want happen isn't really there. I want like a 32 by 256 matrix or something like that. Yeah, that would be like 8 of them together, right? Yeah. Can you just daisy chain them? Maybe? Let's see. I don't know how these work. These panels are normally designed for chaining, linking end-to-end into larger displays. The output of one panel connects the input of the next one down the line. With the limited RAM in an Arduino, chaining is seldom practical. Still, it's necessary to distinguish the input and output connections on the panel. It won't respond if we're connected to the wrong socket. So we need something more. Just need something more hefty, right? Here's one that's 16 by 32. That wouldn't be too bad either. You need a more powerful driver, basically, though. That's what it's saying. More powerful system like a Raspberry Pi might be a better choice. See, at that point, though, it starts to become like, just buy one. Good morning, non-farms payroll is really encouraging. Oh, you mean the ADP. You mean the ADP. The ADP was good. I mean, the ADP kind of suggests that Friday could be okay. What is Raspberry Pi? Keep seeing these Micro Center ads for a free Raspberry Pi. Okay, so a Raspberry Pi is basically like a teeny tiny computer. It's like a little computer that's like this big, and you can... And it comes with its own kind of special operating system. So, so Arduino is really good for like a really small, simple thing. Like we were able to drive an LED panel off of an Arduino and run 7 RGB strips off of it and do cool stuff. So like if I was going to like make my own lightsaber or any kind of, or maybe like my own little Internet of Things kind of device in my house to do something like measure the temperature in a room and do something, or I don't know, that sort of a thing, then you would probably want to use like an Arduino. But when you need more power, or you want like an actual like real computer there, then you start looking at like a Raspberry Pi. Now there are more powerful Arduinos too, but I don't know. So there are like LED marquee sign 32 px high. I search for that. I do get results on Amazon. There's one. I would want it to be longer. I would want it to be longer. LED marquee sign. Something like this, right? But the issue with something like this, I think, is how much control do I get over it, you know? It reminds me of a light bright. Features: support for English, indoor, outdoor, software works with Windows-based systems. See, like, I want to program my own software, basically. you need a unit with Wi-Fi built into it. So Wi-Fi. There you go. Wi-Fi range, blah, 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 blah. And there's a smartphone app. This LED sign works only with provided software. That's what you need, though, is you need something with like an API or that we can program ourselves. It seems, though, that like these RBG matrices, like these, it seems that you can chain them together. You just need something powerful enough to do it. Now this would be better because it is a 3.3 volt. Runs off of 3.3 volt. That's good because the Arduino they're moving to like they want everything to be 3.3 volt, and so it's hard to drive some of these other ones. I'm also wondering maybe it has something to do with just the data line. Maybe I need to downregulate the data line and that'll fix the problem. I don't know. If you run across to something that you think would work, let me know. There's this Pixelcade thing. Open source and REST-based Pixelcade API. How do you feel about shorting ZB today? Well, so here's the problem. I'm still torn on why the treasuries are doing what they're doing. It seems to me that the ADP number was good, that the jobless claims and the non-farms numbers could both be good, and that should push rates up. And we did see initially when the ADP came out, the treasuries got quite low. The 10-year went all the way down to 16 at one point, I think, right? 16, 15 half, right? They were like here, they went boosh, and then they came up and they reversed like they're doing now. So part of that might be that in the ES, we had a pretty ugly down day in the overnight session. I mean, yesterday was great, but we washed all of that away. But then in the treasuries continued to move lower. So it could be that they already kind of, priced that in to some extent. And then this move here was like a combination of like profit taking from the news. We got a higher low. We're going to move back to the previous day's point of control, yada, 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 yada. Because I don't see any fundamental reason for them to be coming back up to where they are. Other than we didn't price in the risk off from yesterday, right? It's just kind of all kind of weird and jumbled. So I don't know where the flow is coming from. So that's where I'm kind of a little, skeptical. If that is the case, then I think that shorting the treasuries makes very much sense. Especially if we think that the S&P 500 is going to try and mount another recovery, which I think that they could. So it's I think that shorting ZB is a possibility, but it's a very unclear to me. It would be very much of a gamble, I think. Yeah, I thought they would drop, but overnight Asia was rough. Wait till it seems clear. Well, some of the best times to take a trade is when it doesn't seem clear, but I guess I need to look. I wonder. So if it's a 32 by 32, is it because the problem with doing it with an Arduino is like the amount of memory that they have? Like, let's see here, Arduino. Arduino. I don't know how you pronounce it. I love the fog of war. Well, it probably doesn't make much sense to do it at this very moment, but it could be soon. Could be soon because they're gonna, the S&P 500 is gonna open, right? So if its SRAM is 2 kilobytes, that means it can only handle 2,000 bits, right? Yeah. Because each one of those is a K. And the Arduino Uno only has 2K. How much does the Mega have? Has 8K. So if we wanted to power 8 of these, you'd just be able to make it. ATM Mega. It's getting hot in this room again. Oh, they came back down a tick. It's Wednesday. Oops. It's like, that's not right. Caco Porto. Hey, good morning. How are you? Well, that's a name seems unfamiliar to me. But you've already subscribed. Thank you very much. Okay, well, it's about 4 minutes to the open. By the way, we haven't seen Ace for a few days. ZN and ZB looks like a good long? I don't know, maybe. I really feel like it could go either way, but I'm thinking, well, here, I'll make the bet over here in the ES, right? With the sim contract. I think that there's going to be a little bit of back and forth, but I think that they're going to buy the E-mini. Oh, you are here, Ace. Well, thank you for speaking up. I was starting to get a little. I could feel my separation anxiety. Like, he might be right though. You might be right. Dave is short. I wonder. See, the thing is I don't know anything about how AO makes those decisions, so it's hard for me to, try and make any kind of determination about what we should do based off of what he says, right? I assume that it's based off of a technical edge, but it would be a good day for a spread. Well, yeah. So buying the 30 and selling the 5, buying the 30 and selling the 5, I think would make sense. That would be kind of like a counter trend mean reversion kind of a play. TLA trader says Eurobond gap down, open test drive down to find buyer, and then the gap is closing. It's like we'll go down and test the bottom at some point today. You don't need to, but that's what I do. Just sharing my ideas have been long since 131.14. Wow, really? No, but we didn't really touch well, okay. I see. You must have gotten in really, really a long time ago. I'm skeptical that you actually did that, but it's possible. So, okay, so they probably my entry was ill positioned. Could have waited a little bit, but that's okay. Okay. There you go. Well, they back to 4,300. Looks like the treasuries seem to be responding to what the S&P 500 is doing. Got another little step to go before they really, yeah, okay. And probably some technicals coming in there now and being like, oh yeah, new high. Okay. Okay, so the delta on the long side there was pretty decent. Actually, we went like 5,000 contracts long there. The yields don't seem to be recovering though. Okay. So for this to really get going in the treasures, we need that ZB to get going, right? Dave was short at 13, so keep an eye on that for him. Okay, that helps. The E-mini looks good, man. I mean, like, it's a long way back up, but like 43.20 is only a hop and a skip away, right? Okay. They're eating into 12. Like I keep saying, I enter my positions at 7 a.m. UK time. That's why I find good position moves. Yeah. You're getting in when it's like still kind of quiet and just before more, you know, coming in at the beginning of a session. That seems to be an edge in and of itself, right? Because you know that there's more volume is going to come if you can predict the direction, that is. You know, that oil thesis makes sense. Okay, so ES still seems fine. Well, you know, they're going to turn a little bit here, but the rates are still up on their highs, right? So I'm thinking more and more about this, and maybe it's being driven by oil. Because oil is getting creamed right now. Big old fatty order there at 25. It's maybe scaring them away. Well, it's certainly moving around a lot. Gonna bail on that and wait here. Because a 10K lot at 25 being the only thing stopping us makes me a little nervous. You know? And the S&P 500 had a pretty good start, but it's not just going like complete gangbusters like sometimes we do. I don't have any more news other than like the gasoline stocks change. 8:30. AO says that's a fake order. I mean, probably it is. That's the whole point. Is like, if they trade up to 24.5, is it really going to take 10K to tick through that? What did Bostic say? I don't see any. I haven't seen any headlines about that. See, Octavius says that there's a 1.5K sitting on there. Even if you take the 5K out, though, that's still 5,000 at 25. That's still a lot. I do see the amount they're changing. A fair amount. See, they're still chilling there. Well, AO says it's fake. Listen, just I've seen them hold and I've seen them not. How do you know that which case it is? Still chilling up there. If you think this 5K is fake, report it and reap the bounty. Hey, listen, I have reported plenty of orders that I knew were spoofing, and ain't nobody ever contacted me or given me any bounty. So I have to say, I think that reporting them is completely useless. Yeah, we're looking at the 10K on the ZN at 25. So when it showed up, we did come back a little bit, but we've been chilling and trading a lot of volume at 24 and holding this price, despite the S&P 500 looking pretty good, right? So that has me a little concerned, because if that's the only reason that we're supposed to come down, like, that's not enough for me, you know? Yeah. Sellers are 50K and one person is 1/5 of the sellers. Come on, if I am wrong, I will hold my hands up, but that looks fishy. It does look fishy, but that alone doesn't mean that we're going to move up or down, right? Like, it's possible that the fundamentals and everything change and we move down and it ends up not mattering at all. But I think it's enough of a possibility that I want to sit and let it happen first. they're eating into 24.5. Might be a hedge. Yeah. Danny Rodriguez, how are you this morning? No, but AO, listen. we've watched this happen hundreds of times before, right? I'm just telling you, just buying that just off of the order on its own is not a probable trade. I've seen them go both ways. I know it happens and they pull, but what often happens is they pull and they just replace it with an iceberg, you know? I feel like I'm looking at it and I'm like, he just seems too confident on something that, you know, used to happen all the time in the treasury. And okay, they're firming up at 24.5. They might do it. Heck, why not? Here's an idea. Why not put in a stop limit right here? Here comes the answer. I mean, this is why this sort of a thing is so nasty and effective. The spoofing thing is so nasty and effective is because you can really do it both ways, right? You can have it show up, and then everybody thinks, oh, it's fake, and they're gonna pull it and they're gonna smash it through 25, and then everybody thinks that, and it never even gets there, or they flip it down the other way. It's like, I feel like he can't win with it. We might have been able to try and buy between 23 and 24. So it has been stuck since we've been here. I would also note that it does kind of look like an ascending triangle, like it's trying to push. So I do think that the probability is probably higher here. But I can't make that determination just based off of the large order. Danny says better than I deserve. Okay, now it has it. I think it pulled, right? Let's see. No, okay, so I saw 1250 pull off. Is the 5K order still there? Hey, is the who was it? Octavius, is the 5K still there? Certainly it's not, right? They just like slowly pulled it. It traded some, that's probably true too. Was it at the beginning? Oh, 4,400 left. Well, that's interesting because that kind of suggests that they really want it, right? I have to fix my microphone there. I was getting a little bit of noise. That's better. Is that still loud enough for you guys? AO says, wow, it disappeared. No, it didn't disappear. It's still Still there. It's just they traded. Okay, there you go. Somebody just smashed through all of it. So that it wasn't, I wouldn't say that that was fake because it still took almost 8,400 to get through, right? It's just like it was a hedge. It didn't matter. Interesting that, well, not interesting, but do you see my stop limit only got 1986 in line? So now I'm seeing these ones at 28. When did those get there? I didn't see any large stacks, at least. Lucas, good morning. What's the risk on that MES? I totally forgot about that. It's just a sim trade, dude. I just said, I think we're going to be up today. So I took it along. I should have scratched it, huh? Oh man, we're so focused on this 10-year trade that yeah. Should we just puke it here? Yeah, I feel bad. I feel bad for having that on there and not, you know. It wasn't like too serious of a trade. Lucas is out. Have you been trying to track them all? Ooh, was that a winner? Oh yes, it did. You know, I tried the one tick and the 10-year twice, and both of them I got them. So everybody here knows about the flipper. But that wasn't a flipper though, was it? It really wasn't a flipper. They traded all. I think that guy really wanted to fill, and they just got squeezed because the S&P 500 had turned risk off. Well, Lucas said no. I was just wondering. Like it seems like every time I come in, Lucas is asking, or he remembers the trade. He's the only one that, like, when I take a trade and I'm still not out of it before the session ends. Like he's still interested in knowing what I did. He's the only one that remembers. That was certainly an interesting trade, though. I haven't seen an interaction with a large lot of that kind in a long time, right? Or when we first started this stream, it happened every day. But lately, it seems like last year or two, it's been much more rare. But that one was like a real, like, somebody really smashed it. Like a 4619 lot came through there and pushed it up. I'm actually quite lucky that I got the fill and then the one tick off of that. Now, interesting. They fill it, and now they're failing 25 again? I don't know. The problem here, though, is still that the S&P 500 might just be unhappy today. I don't know. The moves are seeming a little random today, aren't they? Okay, now there's more volume on the way up. Okay. And oil is doing poorly. That certainly can't help. I wonder, is there more headlines here that I'm just kind of missing? Oh, cryptos, I didn't even check. Oh, yeah, crypto's at 54,470. Yeah, okay. So the story on Zero Hedge is market futures tumble as natural gas prices explode, stagflation fears surge. Except for that gas prices since then have been down. The S&P 500 does not look good though. Right? We should have just gone short rates. Could have made $15. It's okay. I think I managed that one pretty well. Better than I have been lately, at least. So I need to come back over here. If we come back to our volume profile and we look at ES, what prices do things start to get a little hairy? It's 42.70 maybe? Curious. Oh, I never turned the robot on. Well, I guess I don't want to turn him on if it's doing this crazy stuff. And they did recover the 25 again and moved up a little higher. So at this point, a long in the treasury probably doesn't make much sense, does it? But let's just kind of wait and see. There is, I don't know. There is a lot of weird things going on today, isn't there? Like yesterday, it was like everything was in line. What just happened, guys? I don't know, Gus. Which instrument you talking about? The ES's puking doesn't look very good, does it? By the way, did we fix your authorization message? I had looked in and I made a little boo-boo when I was setting it up for you, so I should be fixed now. 10 a.m. Eastern time, yeah, I don't know. So let's review what's going on here. S&P 500 opened up, had a pretty good opening drive, and in fact, there was a really decent amount of volume, 8K orders or so. That's not like huge, but that's decent in the S&P 500. And then we completely reversed that, okay? And so that's where we're sitting at now. Meanwhile, the treasuries have been bid all morning. We could have shorted it and done really well. Now, oil is down, so that might be one reason, is that it seems like that the rates are a little bit more anxious to rise when oil prices are increasing. But because oil and natural gas are kind of chilling off today, both due to private inventory supplies being good and the comment by the Russian president about willing to support, deal with the prices in Europe and help out. Oil and natural gas have been down. Okay. Now gold and silver haven't really done anything. Copper has since come back and declined, so that's not good for the economy. That's like kind of a growth bearish. But then the other one that's really interesting is that the cryptocurrencies are pumping hard this morning, right? Like took a bit to get them to 50K, and now they're pumping hard at 55, which they're doing so in an area where it's like really becoming unprecedented. Now, of course, in cryptocurrencies, that can always just be unrelated, right? Can always just be unrelated. Now, there wasn't any headlines or anything like that The only piece of data that we got was the ADP, which was good and kind of suggests that like the taper is still on, right? And so that kind of puts us where we are now. Was all of this noise, and the S&P 500 is going to move up and the treasuries are going to give up those gains? I don't know. Interesting. Okay. Brandon, oh well, yeah, you missed a lot actually. We had a big 8K order at 25 that we plowed through. Some pulled, but I think that the order that we were all kind of reading as a spoof did actually fill. And somebody hit it hard with a big market order. Okay, so there's S&P 500. Testing those lows. It's not till like lows of the extended session until 42.70, by the way. $131.27, yeah. Well, it was an okay short. That's the one that's probably a little bit too much on the edge for me to be trying to take. Yeah. Bears knew what to do. It could be. I mean, you do have to wonder if the guys in the treasuries knew that the S&P 500 was going to fall apart. I'm not so sure that that's actually what happened, though. I think that it was probably more just people got in positions and were trapped, and kind of got trapped when the S&P 500 started falling, right? But difficult for us to know in that kind of a situation, huh? Okay, so they're hitting 25 again. So I should say that in this situation where we saw like a potential spoof and then a lot of volume traded there, that actually does end up being significant, because do you see how many times we've come back to that 25 now? Say it's a good place to short because ZB couldn't get past 24. Well, I did kind of take a little leap of faith there and took a little order along. I might add to it. I don't know. I don't think that this situation calls for me to add, does it? By the way, is my volume sounds okay to you guys, right? Because I just turned it down a little bit, and it's not nearly as loud in my headphones, so I'm not sure if it's fine for you. But we weren't at the noise floor, so that's why I turned it down a little bit so that you don't hear the buzz. Probably you weren't hearing it, but it was bothering me. Probably I need to get an interface with a better amp. I don't know. If you're gonna be one tick, if you're gonna get into a position one tick off of the high, you're gonna have to show me calling that one out when it happens, bro. That's a few too many absolutely perfect catches. So next time you do it, you call it out as it happens. So I didn't believe that rally sustaining. I should have been short in hindsight, but played more of a long counter trends on the way down. Yeah, I think that the kind of the play that I've been trying to make is like a way too high of a time frame for us to be working out in this mess, huh? Because I was saying, I think that they're going to try and buy the S&P 500. Well, if I thought that it was going to be like a buy on the open and trend all the way up all day sort of a thing, then that certainly didn't happen, did it? But that doesn't mean that the S&P 500 can't dig their way out here and still have a positive day. It's just you kind of have to wonder now why so bearish. If you trade extremes, it's fine. Otherwise, stick with the momentum. Yeah, well, to get in this and to get the 5 ticks favorable excursion on it, that's pretty good. I'm wondering, though, why did they come up so far if the ZN is still trading back and forth at 25? We just need some good news. You kind of have to wonder, though, like what was that all about? Just because, I don't know, man. The news today was good. That's the thing that like really bothers me. Like to me, it's like the news was good. The taper is still on. Probably the jobs number on Friday is going to be good. But because we failed to close above the 100-day moving average yesterday, we need to sell off today. You know, like that seems silly to me. And yet that kind of seems like at the moment that's what it's saying. AO thinks it's going to fall. Okay. Yeah, I'm still trading that 25. I sense a disturbance in the force. Are you just sensing a disturbance in the Seth? Because I think I've been disturbed this morning. Should I be long? I was waiting for a better entry, but I'm not doing it. I'll stop into one at the open. How about that? Bouncing ball action. Yeah. Jake Sherman reports Klobuchar, I always screw her name up, said that the debt limit did indeed come up in a Senate Dem meeting with the White House. The Republicans have to allow us this vote tonight, and we will own this because they're afraid to, but we are doing the right thing for this country, and we are governing. Good job. Do it. You have the votes. Go ahead and do it. The Republicans are saying that the Republicans aren't saying, hey, don't raise the debt limit. They're just saying, we're not going to help you. Like, do it. So you can see like they'll pull a little bit. They'll take a look at 24.5, but then the volume's not coming in to do it. They've developed a hole here, and you kind of get an interesting situation because there was a pretty big hole at 24 before. Like they traded a lot at 24. So if they're able to get enough volume to push them out of the hole, and I think that would really have to push them below 24. But if they were, if this 23.5 then started pulling and they traded through that, then it could be, then we could have a good move down. But look, it's not. I favor getting rid of the closure rule in the Senate. Well, they were talking about doing that. I think that might just be bluster, though. Hard to say. I really don't understand why they don't just put it into a reconciliation bill and raise the debt limit. I don't. They're all like, oh, that's a non-starter. It's just, and nobody in the media like really talks about it regularly. I mean, I've read stories, but it's not like the headline that, oh, Democrats don't want to put it into a reconciliation bill because then they would have to put a number on the debt. So, like, I don't know. I tell you what, what was it, yesterday? Yesterday, Democrats sure were being like apocalyptic about it, right? They're like, oh no, we're not, we're going to default now. Okay, so yes, a small downturn. That I don't know if that's a big deal or not, but the treasuries seem to still be reacting to it. And you can see that although they do fail 25, they haven't been able to extend below it in the 10-year. Overall, I would say that the volume really died down. Now in the 5-year, there's been a little bit more selling. There's been a little bit more selling in the 5-year. I wonder if we're going to get we should be careful here. If they sell, I bet you we're going to get more of what we saw yesterday, where there's going to be big icebergs and stuff. Do you say there's more flush in here? Well, it sure doesn't seem like I'm getting what I wanted. So, I don't know. I may just want to chill out here because it seems like I'm not the informed trader at the moment, I don't think, yeah. That last trade was okay. We made 4 ticks favorable. 1 point. How much risk should we take on this? I'm surprised. How much did I get favorable on that? Only 11. Okay. Oh, I just want to click today. I think that's my problem, guys. I just want to do something. I think maybe my emotions getting to me a little bit here, yeah? What do you guys think? How do you feel? Just based on retail panics, they always get trapped at the worst time? Maybe. Let's buy everything again. I could just go short the rates here and hope that they make it back to 1.5 even in the rate, right? I don't know, man. Do you think it's the specter of the debt ceiling? I really don't think that the market cares about the debt. The only reason, Dave, that I say I don't think that the market, well, two reasons really. One because I don't think it matters in all fairness. But number two is like whenever we do get a headline on the debt ceiling, like when I'm looking here and Jake Sherman says stuff or there's like breaking news on what's going on in Congress, there's no reaction in the indexes at all. So that's why I don't think that they're concerned about it. Oh, what the heck is this? It just moved. Chinese state propaganda mouthpiece Hu Xixin PLA already has the ability now to liberate Taiwan at one stroke. Why? Has to wait until 2025. The mainland hasn't taken the action. Is a goodwill of Beijing to treasure cross-straits peace. I worry that the goodwill could be abused by Taiwan and the war is triggered suddenly. Okay. I don't think that that's actually the case. Probably if China decided to go and attack Taiwan, they could probably make a pretty good move on it. I don't think that it would be like one stroke. I don't think that they would like completely control the island within 24 hours and that would be the end of it, right? But the problem would be is that they get in there 24 hours and then you give enough time for the rest of the world to move and respond, right? And then they would be screwed and it would be really bad for China. So that's why China's not doing it for sure. It's the threat that the rest of the world is going to come and help Taiwan. I'm a little concerned that there's this situation where China just up and decides to do it and Joe Biden doesn't do anything. But let's hope that doesn't happen, huh? It's still just chilling here. See, if I had taken a trade, I'd still be sitting at break even and being like, come on, you know? We'll kick China's butt if they mess with Taiwan. I hope so. I really hope so. This market, look there, have a little step up. S&P 500 is green again. I don't know what to tell you guys. Live Squawk retweeting that quote by Hu Xixin. That's boomer talk. It would it would be a mess. We don't want to get involved in that, really. Can you imagine? And it would be like a straight up U.S. versus Chinese soldiers. Russia might get involved. Surely something would happen with North Korea. Well, that's all going on. Hu Xixin, yeah, that's Xixin. I think that's how you say it. We used to have some Chinese speakers come on visit the stream from time to time, but I think that the government clamped down on that. Probably so one time I responded to a tweet from Hu because he said something that was just like obvious bullshit. Right? And oh my gosh, the number of trolls accounts that I got sent over commenting on that post was like insane. It was really disheartening to me that I could receive so much hate on Twitter and not gain any followers from it. You know what I mean? I'd be totally okay with being Chinese, being the Chinese Communist Party's number one enemy if I got followers off of it, and they didn't and they didn't kill my family. That'd be a problem too. But that's not the case. I did not get followers from it. I actually quite like the Chinese people. I kind of learn Mandarin from time to time. I would rather that they be my friends. I would rather that they just mind their own business and don't invade Taiwan. I think that would be better. Yeah, I think that would be better. And then we can all just continue being friends. Maybe someday, when all of this mess is kind of blown over, we can go and see Heaven's Gate in China. That would be great. I'd love to do that. So if you're out there who... No, I'm just kidding. I mean, I could still go either way at 525. It didn't work. I distracted myself a little bit there. And then I'm still looking and I still want to click. Chinese people are good. Their leadership is arrogant. Well, you know, I don't even know if it's... it seems to me that the guy in charge is kind of just taking it in a certain way, you know? That's something that I really don't understand about China. Is like, okay, so if you have this really complicated party structure that runs the government, how is it that one guy is able to come in and completely take control of everything? How does that work? Shouldn't it be way more like powers split at this point? I don't get it. U.S. Secretary of State Blinken will see whether China's President Xi and Biden can meet in the next weeks and months. Okay. You say he's a puppet? Okay. I don't know. I hear that Xi's philosophy is like actively taught in the schools and stuff. It's almost like they pull liquidity out like on FOMC. I don't know. Liquidity in ZN's okay. We're gonna get this. We're gonna get the gasoline stocks here in 2 minutes, though. Do you still want to be short ZNAO? I mean, I was short for a while, but I gave up on it. And what's Peter on Twitter, our friend Peter, doing? I can't tell if that's a long or a short from his screenshot. Breaking news. Democrats in the Senate are planning on voting on the debt ceiling, and Biden has hinted that the filibuster may be lifted. You really think that Manchin will vote to have no filibuster? Oh, yeah, they'll just vote to do away with the filibuster for the debt ceiling? Do you think so? Okay, well, E-mini's back up. Oh, AO is not in. He's just looking to. Well, I don't know, man. It's a very much a counter trend trade, right? If we were to do that. We do have the gasoline stocks here in 30 seconds, 20 seconds, so let's wait for that. Let's wait for that. Okay, so I'm looking, it looks like a build on the gasoline. It's a reversal trade. Yeah, but other than that, we don't seem to understand why they're up to begin with. What is it that we think is going to make it reverse? I mean, I'm partial to going long here for sure. It's just, okay, that's interesting. Someone knows something? Well, the E-mini sure took off there, right? Okay, so there was a lot of volume there at 25, but they pushed through it pretty forcefully. What? Interesting. Okay, well that kind of price, that kind of volume is the kind of thing that often leads to a reversal. That I think was maybe gave me a little bit more confidence. All right. Surprised they took that. Still fighting at 25, man. I don't know. We sure have a setup where if they could get meaningfully below 25, I think that we could get a bit of downside action, huh? It's just that right now it looks like we have every reason to think that 25 will hold all day and we'll just sit there, you know? I try not to overthink it, you know? But that's not what I asked, right? I said, what reason do we have to think that it's going to reverse? Unless you're just saying that it's a YOLO. Like, that would be okay, but otherwise, I'm not going to follow somebody else, right? So I'm thinking long because the S&P 500 looks really good, and I can see kind of the trap traders and the setup and the volume and everything. So I really think if they can move below 25 that we can do it, and I was seeing some shuffling around. See, they're not stacking at 25 half now. It's actually interesting to me that 25 half has more volume at it than 25 on the volume profile so far. That's actually, I mean, not a big deal, but it's interesting to me. Okay. Both sides are pulling right there. I don't know. The ZB is looking like a little bearish, don't you think? Well, they're not doing anything too interesting. Did see some bid stacking there. The bonds are in a traffic jam. That's a good way of putting it, man. So what I'm seeing here right now is no longer like a hole, right? Like, it looks to me like people are like very willing to put liquidity up in this area. And there's been a fair amount of back and forth trade through the 25 half area. They seem to be watching the S&P 500 closely too, huh? Because they came up, they broke a new high, but like only just barely, and now they're kind of backing off of it. If the Senate gets rid of the filibuster markets, I don't know about that one. The thing with that filibuster thing is that I'm not sure that means that they get rid of the filibuster. I think that it might mean that they just change the rules so that you can't filibuster a debt limit increase. Makes sense. I don't think that they're getting rid of it completely. Now what's going on there? I think that I just kind of had things miscentered. The closure rule, filibuster rules makes art. Yes, that's good. That's good. You don't want the Democrats to be able to pass anything that they want. Can you imagine without the filibuster where our country would be at this exact moment? Holy crap. There would be no border anymore. We would have authorized $6 trillion in spending. Abortion would be a nationwide funded government program. Like, I'm not just joking around. Like, that's what they would do if there wasn't a filibuster. Yeah, but it would allow the GOP to get things done too. Why is abortion bad? Listen, I don't think that abortions should be funded by the government. That's all. That's all I was saying at that moment, at least. I also think that there should be a late-term abortion ban, but that's a different issue, right? Like, the only reason I'm saying all of those things is because they've been trying to put that in their $3.5 trillion bill, right? They were trying to put full-on amnesty for illegal immigrants in the $3.5 trillion bill. They were trying to put, like, literally that the government would pay for your abortion in the bill. So I'm not just like, trying to make fun of Democrats and what their extreme positions are. Like, that this is what they're trying to do and what the filibuster is preventing from happening. you would think that any measure so controversial would just be like a non-starter, and there'd be no way that you'd be able to get enough votes in the House or the Senate to pass something like that. But apparently that's not the case with the Democrat Party anymore. And quite frankly, there's probably a lot of things that Republicans would do if they could too that I don't think that the larger public would like. So the U.S. was funded by immigrants? Okay, that's completely irrelevant. It's an interesting fact, but that is completely irrelevant to whether or not we should grant amnesty to all illegal immigrants living in the United States or completely open our borders, right? Did you know there has never been a point since they've been doing this polling and everything where a majority of Americans supported increasing the amount of allowed legal immigration? There's never been a point where the majority of Americans favored increasing immigration. But since the 70s, the United States has increased the amount of immigration per year by like crazy, crazy levels. Great. When I say crazy, I mean like it's really high compared to historical norms. Yeah, they're still trading back and forth at 25.5. I don't know. It's a clash issue. I think that people tend to like where they live and are concerned that more people moving in from a faraway place might make that where they live likely to change, and therefore they oppose it. I think that's probably a pretty natural human behavior that transcends party lines and generations and so forth. Or resistant to immigrants who don't share our values. The problem with you going down that argument is then they say, well, that's just code for they can only be white people. That's which is not what you intend to be able to say, but I get it. But no, but I don't need to go that far. I don't think that it's a good idea to grant amnesty, okay? Because you encourage more illegal immigration. Everything that I'm seeing the Democrats are doing encourages more illegal immigration, and it's a bad thing for the country. This is unquestionably a bad thing for the country. The border should be enforced. If you're going to come to this country, you should do so legally. And we should not be setting up incentives for people to break the law. That's an argument that I think I can make pretty confidently. Yeah. And I certainly don't think that should be changed right now in a $3.5 trillion omnibus spending bill. Like if they're going to change the immigration system, there should be an immigration bill, and there should be a majority of people in Congress pass it, and the majority of the American public should be behind it, and all of those things. But when you're just like trying to sneak it into a spending bill, no. I think the only reason they're sneaking that stuff into that spending bill is because they really don't think that the $3.5 trillion bill ever has a chance of passing. So they just want to be able to say to their constituents that they tried. But they're making me wonder these days, They're making me wonder. I don't know. They're spending more time at the 25.5-26 now than they are at the 25. It's not going much of anywhere, though.
It's worse than when the okay. Now I have to. I think we should change the subject. E-mini turning down a little bit. They're bidding it up, guys. Yes, might be able to find a way to turn things around there, though. Let's see. Nobody wins today. That could just be the case, Captain Price. Maybe it's just you can't win. Okay. Iceberg at 26. Cleared it. ZB at its highs. Dang. Okay, it's fine. Well, that's it for me. Not enough time to take another trade. Now, it doesn't look like the reversal is going to happen, though, is it? There was kind of a moment. I think we shouldn't have held on to it for as long, because there was kind of like that wrestling around there, but then it just kind of went dead after that, right? Man, and that just knowing when not to trade. I came in here. The thing that I'm disliking right now is that I came in here looking at what they were doing from the beginning and being like, well, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense for me. So I should kind of just wait. But then I still ended up trying to take 3 trades. So I wish that I had not. I should have, I managed them pretty well. I didn't let them ride very much. So I didn't lose very much or anything, but I'm not happy with it. Lucy is headed off to Europe as the nation nears a debt limit, says McConnell. Is she really going on a trip now? Ugh. I don't know. They like 26. That kind of suggests to me they can go higher again.
Who knows? Probably after we give up. Probably after 9 o'clock, then it reverses, right? Sure does sound like he doesn't like immigrants, but listen, it always makes more sense to, try and argue the argument that you think that they're trying to make rather than trying to misrepresent their argument, though, right? I think that immigrants should come into the United States legally, and that the United States should set a limit on how many immigrants come in every year based on empirical studies that suggest what the most healthy level of immigration is. That's what I think. That's what I think. And I'm really tired. I'm really, really tired of everybody telling me that, oh, you want a sound immigration policy? That must mean that you hate immigrants. You must be a racist white person if you don't want everybody in Mexico to be able to just walk across the border today and come and live in the United States. Like, no, don't. You got to do it legally. And there is a limit. There's too many people coming in. It's bad for the people that live here already. Depresses your wages. It causes all these problems. No. The Democrat open border policy is unacceptable. And the majority of Americans agree with me. Like 60% of Americans agree with me. So how are Democrats able to, do what they're doing right now? I just don't get it. How are they getting away with that, man? Connell says that there would be potential for time agreements if Dems take the reconciliation route. We noted this in the AM edition. Republicans have been signaling this for a few days. What is your trading strategy? I go long and hope it works out. I mean, I can't complain too hard with this one over in the E-mini, although I had way more baked into it at one point, didn't I? Forget the American homeless. I think that's probably a distraction list. Most Americans that are homeless are not homeless because we do not have the ability to provide housing for them. There's usually much more significant social issues at play there. Okay, well, anyways, I'm gonna shut this down. Should we make the title about the big order? ZN smashes through large 10K offer. Doom save. Anyways, whenever we always get going when we're talking about immigration on the stream, huh? What is your so I am of the opinion, Kyle, that the ADP number was good and that the jobless claims and non-farms payrolls are likely to be good as well. And so I would prefer to be long rates, but this morning that just didn't seem to be working out for me. So took a losing day. That's okay. Wasn't too bad. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. And in the meantime, stay profitable, friends.